then I'll be ready.
Is my phone off? It's usually off. I always leave mine on silent.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties imposed upon you as fire captain for the town of Southern Shores to the best of your skill and ability, according to the law, so help you God? Welcome.
Get a picture?
Yeah, you guys gonna get a picture? Do you get one? Okay, Chief got one. Yep. So just real quick in conclusion, I did want to mention, because these guys have worked hard, but I'd like to say I'm very thankful for each one of them. They've been working with me on some issues that, are unforeseen to come up in this transitional phase, and all been very workable in that phase. No grief or aggravation. They work with each other very well, and I think that says a lot to their personality and what they bring to the show. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. For as long as we don't have anything else, I'm going to let those guys go, so they want them to get back to work, and Jay can get back to work. And
All
so,
right. Thank you all so
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank you,
coming.
guys. I'm afraid they're all going to speak.
What?
I was afraid they're all going to speak.
You're emptying the room.
Next, we'll have Councilmember Rob Nielsen lead us on the A250.
Well, thank you, Mayor. We're privileged today to have some representation from Dare County, Caitlin Knight. And I've been working with her for about the last year or so on the big committee for A250 as well as the marketing committee. She can organize. She can speak clearly. She can document things that we do. And for those of you who have looked, hopefully, at the Outer Banks Voice, that's the lead article out there in a video, and you'll see Caitlin up there. She can complete a sentence. It sounds good. And, she can project, and it's a good representation of the county. So with that, I'd like to introduce Caitlin.
Thank you, Councilman Nielsen, and I hope you didn't jinx me. No, that's hard to follow that now. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you all for having me here today to speak. I'm not just speaking on behalf of Dare County, as Councilman Nielsen mentioned. We have a collective group that makes up the Dare A250 committee. I'll give you a list of some of the organizations that are represented here shortly. But it's a great group effort, and we're really excited because things really kicked off yesterday. And just to take you through our mission, so this is our goal. We want to bring all of our local organizations together to coordinate the county celebrations of America's 250th birthday. The committee's work will culminate in a variety of programs, events, and activities that will run through July 2026 and beyond, just to mark this historic milestone in our nation's history, in particular in what we like to call the land of beginnings. So this is a list of the organizations that are represented. You can see that Dare County, of course, is very involved. All of our municipalities are involved and have representatives. Our Dare County Schools, Arts, National Park Service, Outer Banks Visitors Bureau, and then a lot of nonprofits and museums, organizations that are participating not only as passport locations in our passport program, but also sharing input and ideas through the committee work. So these are some of the key initiatives that I'll run you through and how you can get involved, whether you're watching at home or here today, our council. So our website launched a little over a month ago, and it's darea250.org. On this website, you'll see on the home screen, there's the option to subscribe to our monthly newsletter. So we're sending that out monthly. I'll go through some of the content that will contain, but you can also find pages for our Dare A250 Fair, various Dare A250 themed events, some history and background of America's 250th celebrations. All of that's contained at darea250.org. And then the Dare A250 passport program, I brought an example of one of the signs that you'll see at our 13 locations. So this is located just around the corner here on Skyline Drive in Southern Shores. One of your flat top homes was selected as one of the 13 historic locations that are included in the passport program. And I'll go through kind of the details of this here shortly. We also have our largest celebration is probably the Dare A250 Fair that will take place on April 18th at the Wright Brothers Memorial. So I'll go through the details of that. And then one of our biggest kickoff events is the parade that we're going to be themed A250. So this Kelly St. Patrick's Day Parade in March normally is decked out in green. We're hoping that we also have some patriotic flair on some of the floats because Mike Kelly has kindly agreed to theme it Dare A250 this year. So that's our big kickoff event, and I'll also showcase some of the partner events that we have. The Dare A250 newsletter, the first issue actually went out yesterday. You can find it on the Dare A250 website if you're not already subscribed. But we will be including a passport location spotlight. This issue just contained a list of all 13 sites that are available and how to get involved, how to participate in the passport program. We'll also share some Dare A250 Fair news. This issue contained vendor applications for those who would like to participate as an arts and craft or retail vendor during the event, or brewery, food vendors. We've got all sorts of vendor opportunities. Sponsorship opportunities were also included. Each issue will also include historical highlights. The Dare A250 History Subcommittee chooses a topic each month to highlight. This was the chartering of the Carolinas this month, so it was a really interesting article that we linked in the Dare A250 newsletter, and you can find more information by clicking a button within the newsletter. We also contain a spotlight on our Dare A250 programs and events, so those that folks from the community would like to submit to be branded Dare A250 and promoted on our site. We'll spotlight those in our newsletter. And educational curriculum, we have a Dare A250 education committee that works with not only our schools, but also our home schools and after-school programs to help aid in the curriculum, providing some grants and art contests, some opportunities. Those will be showcased in the newsletter as well. And then our Dare A250 videos, we're working with Current TV. All of the municipalities and our partnering organizations in the county will be theming almost every video they produce this year, Dare A250. So diving into some historical topics that are unique to each area and aid in our contributions to the nation's history. And all of that can be found. You can subscribe at dareA250.org for that monthly newsletter. And this, we're not sure if it'll work. We're going to try. This is just a video that I think will be a good representation of our passport program, better than what I can
To
showcase.
celebrate America's 250th anniversary, Dare County invites you to join our A250 Passport Program. Explore 13 historic sites and uncover the stories that make our community the land of
Where's that one?
beginnings. Flat tops of Southern Shores. These unique homes, built in the 1950s, reflect the vision of Frank Stick and the early development of Southern Shores. Their simple design and iconic flat roofs remain a symbol of Outer Banks history. Icarus Monument to Flight, Kitty Hawk, honoring both historic milestones and the dreamers who chase the sky. The Icarus Monument reflects humanity's enduring quest for flight. Wright Brothers National Memorial, Kill Devil Hills. In 1903, Orville and Wilbur Wright made history with the world's first powered flight. The memorial celebrates their innovation and the birth of modern aviation. Jockey's Ridge State Park, Nags Head, home to the tallest living sand dunes on the East Coast. Jockey's Ridge is a natural wonder. It has been a site for recreation, history, and inspiration for generations. Jeanette's Pier, Nags Head. The original pier was built in 1939. And Jeanette's Pier has long been a gathering place on the Outer Banks. Today, it serves both as a fishing pier and an educational center for marine science. Fort Raleigh Historic Site, Manteo. Fort Raleigh preserves the site of the first English settlement in the New World, established in 1587. It's a place tied to the mystery of the lost colony and the roots of America's story. Island Farm, Manteo, a living history site. Island Farm shows what daily life was like on Roanoke Island in the 1850s. Visitors can experience farming, cooking, and traditions of early Outer Banks families. Pea Island Cookhouse, Manteo. The cookhouse honors the legacy of the Pea Island Life Saving Station, the only all-black crew in the U.S. Life-Saving Service. Their courage and dedication broke barriers and saved lives. Buffalo City, at the Alligator River National Wildlife Refuge, near East Lake on the Dare County mainland. Once a logging and moonshine town, Buffalo City thrived deep in the Dare County woods in the early 1900s. Although the town is gone, its history lives on in local legend. Bethany Church, Wanchese. Built in 1857, Bethany Church is one of the oldest churches on Roanoke Island. It continues to stand as a link to the community's spiritual and cultural history. Body Island Lighthouse, Nags Head. The black and white striped lighthouse has guided mariners since 1872. Still shining today, it's a reminder of the dangers of the Outer Banks coast. Chickamaucomico Life Saving Station, Rodanthe. This historic station tells the story of the U.S. Life Saving Service, the forerunner of today's Coast Guard. Brave surfmen once launched daring rescues from these shores. Graveyard of the Atlantic Museum, located at the edge of Hatteras Island. This museum shares shipwreck stories from one of the world's most dangerous stretches of sea. It highlights maritime history, legends, and survival. As you explore each historic site, scan the QR code to collect your virtual stamp. Enter your name and email through the digital form, and each stop brings you closer to earning a special certificate. The more locations you visit, the more prestigious your certificate will be. Participation is open through November the 18th, 2026. Start your journey today at darea250.org/passport.
So you can view a list of all of those sites at darea250.org/passport. I'll also showcase our GIS map, which gives you little notes on the location of each sign at each of our passport stops, because on some of those properties, like the Body Island Lighthouse, that's a vast property. So you're kind of searching for this sign throughout. So we have little annotations that give you the location for each of these. I'll say Kristen and I installed these signs on Thursday and Friday of last week, and we've already had multiple scans and submissions. It was funny. I think one of the more popular spots was one that I would not have suspected. Buffalo City was actually one that we've got 8 or 9 scans. We've got 2 at Southern Shores Flat Top last I checked. So we're getting some great interactions, and we're looking forward to seeing how many people submit and try to get a certificate. The most premier certificate is the John Hancock, but we have several of our other founding fathers who have, lended their signatures to these certificates that folks will receive in November after they've completed, even if they've just completed 2 stops, they'll receive a certificate, but each level after that will be another certificate that they'll receive, signed by those who signed our Declaration of Independence. So I hope you'll all participate in that. And so the GIS map that I mentioned, our history subcommittee and our GIS analyst, Kristen Stilson, created a really great interactive map. I won't click on it now because I think it might be a little glitchy. But if you navigate to darea250.org/passport, you'll see a link to this map, and it's really great. It has photos, more detailed stories about each of our passport locations. But there are 30 historic sites in general that our history subcommittee selected. So you'll see not just those 13 sites, but several additional ones that made significant contributions to our nation's history on a local level. So check that out when you have a chance. Our Dare A250 Fair is really the event that we're most excited about this year as a part of our celebrations. So it's a free event that will take place at the Wright Brothers National Memorial. We're working with the National Park Service on this. It's going to be an all-day event from 1 to 9 p.m., you can see. And we will have live music, lots of family-friendly activities, historical storytelling. We'll have opportunities for vendors, so up to 40 arts and craft vendors, 40 nonprofit vendors, retail, food and beverage. We'll have Dare Arts there providing artistic displays and interactive opportunities to contribute to an art installation. And then it's going to end in a very large-scale patriotic show. So please mark your calendars for that. Other DARE A250 events are open to the public to submit. So if you have an event that you believe qualifies as a DARE A250 event, whether it's patriotic themed or fits within one of the commemorative themes that the state has selected, you can submit it at dareA250.org/events. And we've got just a few that are listed, but that list is growing, and we hope that more will contribute and add their events to our event calendar. We also have a media kit in the works right now. So we'll have graphics, videos, email banners, sample text that folks can use to help us promote the DARE A250 celebrations. And that's dareA250.org/media. And then finally, volunteer information. So if you would like to get involved as a volunteer in any capacity, whether that's through the DARE A250 Fair, historic storytelling opportunities at our libraries, educational programming, you can complete this form at dareA250.org/volunteer, and we'll connect you with our volunteer coordinator, Patty O'Sullivan, who will put you in the best category, whether that's at an event, providing outreach, or historical storytelling. And if you all have any questions, I'm here to try to answer those. And if you would like to call or email, I've got 3 contacts listed: myself, our marketing co-chair, Jeff Schwartzenberg, and then our volunteer chair, Patty O'Sullivan.
Questions, anyone?
Are you putting this kind of information in with the rental companies?
We hope to. So we're planning
When
to.
visitors are here, they always say,
Exactly.
what can we do besides go to the beach?
Exactly. So
Get a passport map and head out. I would think that'd be really cool.
that's what we're hoping for
I'm going to make all
too.
my visitors do it. That way I don't have to answer questions.
Good. Good. And we'll have email banners.
So, but that would be, I think that'd be cool. Yeah, that's well done. Well done.
We found that with Beach Nourishment, our More Beach to Love campaign, and some of our Love the Beach, Respect the Ocean beach safety campaigns, email banners were the thing that were most utilized by our realty companies. So we're going to send out, as soon as we have a list of all of our rental property managers. We'll send out those email banners for folks to use in their, communications with guests. And we hope they'll use those. And then we'll also have a few print pieces, rack cards. You can see a sample of the rack card in front of you that we'll be distributing at all of our visitor centers, any other location that's open to hosting those. And then we'll have flyers up at our coffee shops. Several restaurants have offered to put those on display in their windows.
Nice. Will we have some here at Town Hall?
I would be happy to get some.
Oh, yeah.
To you. Yeah, absolutely. That design was just approved yesterday, so I printed that one, but we'll have some professionally printed copies available next week, I believe.
Any other questions for Caitlin?
How did you go about selecting these sites? And we're very happy to have Southern Shores in there.
Our history subcommittee was actually responsible for selecting those, and they have representatives from different organizations. The chair of our history subcommittee is the director of the Outer Banks History Center. So she was a wealth of information, and they really wanted to make sure it was widespread and encompassed all of Dare County. We didn't have Duck. I don't think they found a location for Duck, but beginning at Southern Shores, working all the way to the end of Hatteras Island, and then out in Buffalo City. So making sure the areas were represented and different subject matter was represented. So I think it's very varied
It's very
and
diverse. I
encompassing.
like that.
Yeah, thank you. Pass that along.
Paula, I advocated for it.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're glad.
way to sell.
It's a great location.
Nicely done.
Well, thank you all very
I'd like
much.
to
for
thank
hosting.
Caitlin, and she probably had to have her passport stamp to come up here to from Manio
I
all the
should
way
go
up this
scan
way.
it.
So we sincerely appreciate it and looking forward to working with you and promoting the activities in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. I
It's great.
appreciate y'all
It's
hosting me. Hope to see you all completing passports. Hope to see your name show up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Caitlin. Oops. Next, we'll get into our staff reports. We'll start off with our Deputy Town Manager and Planning Director, Wes Haskett. Good morning, Wes.
Good morning. Happy New Year, Mayor, members of council. I'll start with December permits for the planning department. There were 37 permits issued that consisted of 5 zoning permits, 15 building permits, and 17 trade permits. And the total amount of fees that the department collected in December was $12,200.35. With respect to the planning board, they will be meeting this month on January 21st. That is Wednesday due to the holiday on the Monday on the 19th. That meeting will be at 5 o'clock here in the Pitt Center. And they will be reconsidering the SSCA, ZTA that you all removed from the agenda tonight so that they can seek further clarification. And also, if finalized prior to the meeting, the board will also consider the ZTA that town staff has been working on that addresses wastewater treatment plants. Any questions? It's a brief report for y'all today.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Wes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from our police chief, Chief Cole. Thank you for being our photographer.
Good morning, Mayor, members of council. December 2025. As you can see, we had 1,510 calls for service. Some of the breakdown, the incidents, which were the actual crimes that were reported to the police department for December. We had a total of 20. And under the criminal arrest, we had 10 criminal arrests for a total of 21 charges. Citations, the officers conducted 76 traffic stops. They handed out 22 written citations and another 49 warning citations. 0 ordinance violations. We just weren't looking for them. It was the holiday spirit. It's not to say there weren't any. And we had 2 reportable motor vehicle accidents. Any questions? The only other thing I'd like to let the council know is that we're working on a website, actually a web page for the town website and the police website that will be related to the LPRs. We'll try to have stuff that will be included, like our policy, what the state statutes are, the locations, the budget. And we'll also have some examples of some of the things that it's been useful for and helped us. And we actually have the MOU that we're waiting for the State Bureau of Investigation to send back to us. We sent it in, signed it yesterday. So we should be getting a full copy of that within the next 3 to 4 days. We'll try to be as transparent as we can with it. They're out there. We're not trying to hide them. I mean, you can see them. So anyway, that's something that we'll hope. I think education will go a long way for some of the silly comments that some people are worried about surveillance. I'd be more worried about what my cell phone's doing than I would some of these LPRs, to be honest with you. Questions?
Do you know if the state legislature is working on any regulations or rules on e-bikes? And I'm tired of bringing it up, I mean, I know it's old. The other day I was coming down the street here to turn right onto Juniper. 2 kids, a lot of kids got bikes for Christmas, e-bikes. I'm sure everybody's noticed that. They didn't even stop at Juniper and 158. I mean, they buzzed through that intersection in front of the bank and went over to the other bank, didn't even look. And traffic was turning left out of the turn lane to go down Juniper from the, and I just my mouth was open. I was waiting for them. And I don't know if there's anything going on in our state legislature to start addressing this.
Probably about the
same
time they pass the budget, they'll probably pass that.
Yeah. I don't know if the police association has anything to do with this or
I
the
can tell you
state-
that
highway
the North
patrol.
Carolina.
I don't care who it is. you
North
know?
Carolina Police Chiefs Association
Yeah.
has been very adamant
Okay.
and pushed for the legislation, which I think I provided y'all a few months ago. And it just got bogged down in the bureaucracy, and it still sits there waiting to be signed.
It'll take fatalities to
It will,
make
it will
happen.
take a high-level political figure's grandchild or son or daughter, in my experience in 42 years,
Yep.
something bad to happen before all of a sudden, we need to deal with this now.
Yeah.
It is. It's a bad thing waiting to happen. And I got to be honest with you, if we ever get to the point where we want to do local ordinances,
Yeah,
we got to hold the parents accountable too.
yeah.
For sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
At
so,
least these kids had helmets on, but I'm gonna tell
well,
you.
that's a start.
That's a
but,
start, but I was, that intersection is dangerous to begin with.
Yeah,
but I mean,
they're no different than, in my opinion, a moped or anything else.
Yeah,
They need
exactly.
to be much better regulated. It's just a bad thing waiting to happen.
yeah, and right there's a big bike stop sign right there, it says bike
Yeah.
stop. I mean, I just,
I know.
I was
Could-
floored. Okay,
yeah,
all
could-
right. I'll quit bringing it up. But it's
Well,
scary.
no.
I mean, it's scary.
Could we work with Kitty Hawk Elementary through the school? I mean,
Yeah.
part of this is an education thing.
It is.
Proactive than just.
I
Yeah,
know.
Yes. And I've already told the mayor that this summer, we're working on a couple of bicycle rodeos that will include electric bicycle education and those types of things. And
Hopefully,
at the same time, I've received some grant money that we purchased some helmets, so we'll do a helmet giveaway too.
yeah, hopefully during the school year, in the spring, before the kids get out, that this is the kind of thing they like to take the kids outside and
Yep.
we'll have opportunity for and the chief is taking this and he's going to really run with it.
Good.
So, but honestly, we really do have to get the buy-in from the parents.
Yes.
And that's something that we as a town can work on in terms of communicating and marketing. So
Right.
that's also on our to-do list, for
Yeah.
sure.
Because the
Because-
problem is these electric bikes, even though they say they only go 20 or some miles an hour. We had a chase on one, and I think I may have already related to you a few months ago, where our officer was having a hard time keeping up with an electric bike. He was intoxicated. That's probably the only reason he survived when he did finally crash. But he was doing 50 miles an hour on South Dogwood.
Yeah.
And the officer was
Most of the
trying to
quality-
catch up.
The quality bikes have governors on them. The
Yes.
question is, there's so many cheap manufactured ones available on the
Right.
internet that I think it is an education issue as much as anything, that
Yeah.
what the law is.
I mean,
I
you
agree.
can't really legislate everything. And,
No,
and you can't legislate common sense
that's right.
and being aware of your own safety.
Making good choices.
And making good choices. And these are kids. So it would seem to me working with the schools is a
Yeah.
great way to go about it.
Education's a big thing, and back home, we had state mandates, but no way to enforce certain things like the helmet laws. The only thing that we finally ended up doing was we ended up holding the parents accountable so that when we did get a 14-year-old that wasn't obeying whatever, the parents received the fine, and financially, sometimes that gets your attention too. But if that's going to save a child's life, then to me, it's worth it. But yeah, education is what we're working on. So
Just circling back to the webpage, do you have a goal for completing and going live with the webpage?
I would say within the next, probably by the end of February, we should
Okay.
have it up and running for sure.
All right.
Related to that, will you try to include a blurb on the history of LPRs within town? Because
A history?
Yeah, the
Sure.
ones people have seen are not the first that have been. deployed,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I
and
think that's a
it's funny
misunderstanding.
because we've had our Leonardo LPRs up for 8 years.
Yeah.
yeah.
The problem is that you're getting, if it's on the internet, it's true, right? So that's the problem, is there's a lot of misinformation and things out there that really are not accurate. But yeah, we'll go with the history of those. Absolutely.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Cole.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Next, we'll hear from our Fire Chief, Chief Limbacher.
Yeah, good morning once again. So for the month of December 2025, fire department responded to a total of 66 calls. Breaks down pretty simply like this: 46 EMS calls, 1 each of motor vehicle accident, remove victim from stalled elevator, hazardous condition, arcing or shorted wire, and our beach wheelchair delivery program. 3 of our smoke detector service, 2 public service, 2 cover-up standby, 4 dispatch canceled en route, and then 4 fire alarms, again, for a total of 66. And that puts us about 14 ahead of 24. So I will say I'll have a report eventually here for the year end, but this is our highest year we've ever had, and it beat the last year we had. It was 872 was our highest, and it was a hurricane year, so that was kind of ginned up our calls. But again, like most departments here, 60 to 70% of our medical dependent on the year. It just depends. So any questions on that report at all? Just a few other things I wanted to mention. I thought the Santa ride in December 20th went pretty well. I thought went really well, particularly when they moved it to the pavilion at the marina. I don't know what the Councilman Nielsen thought, but I thought it was pretty well attended. The kids had a good time. And that video is circulating now, right? You showing them to them? Okay. The video documentation I wanted to show you for the trucks, that we put the cameras on the trucks. I didn't want to do it this time because I didn't want to capulate your whole time, but I'll have it for you next month.
Oh, good.
So any other questions?
Are you on the auxiliary board?
I attend all those meetings, obviously. I don't have a vote on it,
Okay.
but I am on, I attend every meeting, yeah.
I was just curious that you introduced, so I don't know whether you were still on there or not.
Yeah, and I would tell you that I run it pretty much the same way I did run it, keeping them up to speed on all the operations. And the report that I give has, in other words, the report that I gave before when I worked for them hasn't changed now that I work for you. I kind of work for everybody and just make it work. So they're still can ask any question. They're in my office. They answer all the calls, so they know everything that's going on. So
The other thing is I noticed that the fire trucks are out more often.
Oh, yeah.
Are they just familiarizing the new captains with the
Well-
streets, or I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, the ladder truck went down Podesky yesterday, and I've never seen a ladder truck go down Podesky.
yeah, a lot of that is I've been pretty lax on really hitting them hard so far. The first couple months, I've just been letting them get up to speed with the policies. I'll let them go out and drive the streets because, in my opinion, you should not be looking at your phone when you're driving your first due. You should know where you're going. And really, it'll start pretty hardcore this month with operational things. They've read all the SOGs and all that kind of stuff. But that kind of reading that stuff doesn't, as well as I do, doesn't put it in play versus hand-on when you're answering calls and you get to see it firsthand. But all of them were able to operate and drive trucks. They all have experience like that. But our policy says 10 hours per vehicle. And I want to keep following that so that they're very familiar with it. Because in the end, I mean, you are the guy that they're coming to if they have a question. Everybody has a brain part once in a while. It happens to me too. I'm like, oh man, what is it? So you got to be that guy when they ask a question. You know all of the answers. You're the paid guy. So I think that they're doing well, and I think that the transition's gone pretty well. So
Yeah, I thought it was cool that they're more visible. I mean, everybody knows it's there, but I just thought it was
I always hate when they're not getting dirty, but that's the difference between
Yeah,
us.
yeah. I wondered who's washing them.
I like them nice and clean, sitting just beautifully in the station. But, I would just say that I appreciated all the support that you guys have given me, and I was pretty wound up in December when I came to you. I just couldn't take the anxiety, man. I'm glad you just were able to see through it, and so I think we're all on the same page now. But I appreciate all the support.
Good.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chief. And just to confirm, like, because we have this auxiliary board,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I mumbled through that, but the board, because it's a nonprofit, it can accept donations from people in the community. Like if somebody in the community just really wanted to show their appreciation for what they do, they can make a donation.
Yeah, it's probably the final phase we're in the middle of, is just completing that legalese. We're operating like that because there's really only one. It's not really detrimental because we just have to pay taxes on something if we buy through them. But that's the last phase. And, I sent the email to the lawyer yesterday, hopefully prodding him a little bit to get him going. But
Gotcha.
it sounded like a very easy thing. The lawyer we have seems like he's pretty up with it, at least when we talked to him. Me and Cliff both felt that he could accomplish what we needed to get done pretty quickly. And that won't change. We still run, there's a basic 5 or 6 line items that we just transfer from into the auxiliary board that they control, store fund, things like that. And it doesn't change the budget for you all at all. It just makes it where it's, instead of all under one, it's auxiliary here in the town here. And it's all still the fire department budget. It hasn't changed at all. But
Okay. Thought I'd just put that plug in.
Yep.
Just one other thing, I'd like to commend the chief for the Santa ride and the department. They did a great job. I attended the one over here at the larger North Marina, and the kids seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah,
And
they
the
were
number
well.
of volunteers who showed up from all the different organizations, whether it be the Southern Shore Civic Associations, folks from Martins Point, Chickahawk, whatever, they were all there and they spent a lot of time setting up. And I'd just like to commend you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I didn't do much. I had to really put that together. She did a great job, so. All right,
Thank you, Chief.
thanks.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from our town manager, Cliff Ogburn. Good morning, Cliff.
Morning. So I've got two presentations I'd like to make to you. First, I'm going to start with the second quarter report, financial report. Thank you. As always, I want to thank Bonnie for getting these numbers together. So I'll start with just some of the highlights. We received a $5,000 grant to help offset the cost budgeted for a new mobile message trailer. This was Deputy Chief Jones's first attempt, and I think he got the grant the day. I mean, it was almost within 24 hours he got this grant in place. So he said, hadn't gotten one since, so we need to get him going. But thank you. Good job. We hired the fourth fire captain. We officially now own the fire station that transferred from the Fire Real Estate Incorporated to the town. We started work on the North Carolina Resilient Coastal Communities Program. The entry corridor continued to make positive progress. We got the results of the most recent beach nourishment survey, which I'll share with you next. We received another grant from the Tourist Bureau, $220,000 to continue repairs to the multi-use path on NC 12. Continue progress on the East Dogwood Trail Road rework project. We'll actually open the bids for that on Friday. And so hope to have a package together for you for the February meeting. Continue progress on the cemetery improvements. Actually, yesterday, the contractor showed up for to start installing the irrigation you all approved for that site. The revenues versus expenditures, this overall look in the second quarter, we brought in $5 million, largely due to, you'll see from the gaining of ad valorem taxes and receiving the timing of the occupancy sales and land transfer. And expenses were just over $2 million. This is our revenues year to date, and I've got here, you can see quarter one versus quarter two, and out to the far right, you'll see we've collected almost three-fourths of our budget for ad valorem taxes, about half of occupancy and sales and land transfer. Intergovernmental permits and fees and other revenues are all just right about 50%. So through the second quarter, we've collected about 62% of our revenues for the year. This will give you an idea of comparing the last quarter one, quarter two for fiscal year 24 and fiscal year 25 and 26. You'll see that I've got highlighted in quarter two, the $5 million. A lot of that is, of course, the increased taxes. Occupancy, sales, and land transfer. You'll see these numbers represent what you saw before, the total there of 1.8. You can see occupancies for the second quarter went up some. Again, that's largely in timing. Sales went up significantly. Land transfer, none's collected in the first quarter. And you'll see the comparison there between the first quarter, second quarter, and the total. This gives you an idea of, and I'll show you a graph on the next one, but this gives you kind of a trend of where we're headed with occupancies starting, I mean, it's been pretty consistent, but slightly less than the prior 2 years. Sales taxes about the same as last year, a little bit less than the year 24. And I think we'll start to see land transfer. We had an increase in the second quarter, but I think we'll start to see that go down. Again, the subtotals for occupancy, sales, and land transfers compared pretty flat. And this graph will show that compares the last three fiscal year, quarter two revenue collected, again, all pretty much flat there. Expenditures by department, this lists out what we've spent in the second quarter for each one of the departments in the general fund. We've only spent 35% of the budget thus far. Nothing, the percent used on the far right, there's nothing that jumps out, I think, as being concerning. Ocean rescue, of course, is a timing. The majority of that contract is already spent. Everything else is running on average. This will show you expenditures by year. We spent, again, less than we had. We spent in quarter one, we spent less in both quarter one and quarter two of FY '26 over '25. This gives you an idea of quarter two for each department, the difference between what they spent this quarter versus last year quarter. And again, we've spent less year to date. And that is the final slide here. So I don't think there's anything that's jumping out, nothing concerning. I think we're right where we need to be, and I don't foresee any problems or issues as we go into the rest of the year. Any questions? And I'll provide, I know this is way too much to absorb in that period of time, but we'll put this on the website and I'll give you all an email copy of this. And if you have any questions at any time, of course, let me know.
Were we potentially going to receive a greater share of the occupancy tax for this fiscal year? Does that go
Next
year?
It takes
Okay.
a year lag, yes. And that's all.
But the reported years, it was kind of static, our share.
Correct. We should see an increase next year. All right, I'll move on to beach nourishment. How do I get to that next? Oh, all right, I already put it up there. Okay, so I got 3 points I want to try to make with this presentation. One is to give you an idea of the most recent survey. One is to remind you of where we are in the financing of this project, the current project, and then kind of set the stage for where we are moving forward for the next project. You'll see in this graph let's see, excuse me. You'll see a reminder of where we place sand for the first year's project, the far left. CSC placed, or I guess CSC designed, in Weeks Place, a little over 1 million cubic yards. Let's see, the beach nourishment project added a little over 1 million. The most recent survey results you'll see circled to the far right show a net gain of approximately 333,000 cubic yards. And that's between the November 22nd and November 25 survey. So that's kind of the year to date where we are with beach nourishment. And it represents a 32% increase in the volume of sand that was added originally.
The physical survey was spring of 25, right?
Right.
Okay.
And so that's an increase of a cubic yard a foot, 6.6 cubic yards. But overall, if you look between 24 and 25, to the far right, everybody's gaining. Each one of the three reaches are gaining. Between 24 and 25, we actually lost 71,000. But with the other gains, we're still sitting in really good shape with our project. This shows you this is each town. It'll show you the column under projected volume change rate, that for us, our project was designed with the assumption that we'd lose 3 cubic yards a foot per year. In comparison to what it's actually done, we've actually gained 4.3 cubic yards per year. You'll see in that kind of, when you look at the other towns and what their loss rate was calculated on, they've done better than what was projected. But I think what this shows you is that our project is performing very well. Okay, so getting to the cost, as a reminder, the present financing for the project, we borrowed $5.5 million. It was an $11 million project. We got 4.3 from the county. We got a grant. We don't know yet what the county's contribution would be for the next project. But you can see when we started the project, collected through 2022, and I'll remind you, when we started this, we transferred $750,000 from the general fund to the capital reserve fund for beach nourishment to kind of kickstart, help with the MSD taxes and overall taxes, keeping that a little bit lower because it was a significant kickstart for this fund. But you'll see we started at the end of the first year that we collected, we had $1.9 million in the beach nourishment reserve. We're going to make our last payment on this project December 15th of 2026. It's actually in the next fiscal year's budget. And at the end of the 27 budget, we'll have $1.8 million in reserve, which will be there to start the next project. So we're sitting 1 million, what is that? About $1 million more to start this project than we were to start the next project than we were to start this one. So it's kind of where we are with the design. The top row there shows you what we designed this time. Underneath that, the 5-year, 6-year, and 7-year maintenance. That'll show you, again, based on 3 cubic yard loss a year. A 5-year maintenance project that would be done in 27 would put 375,000 cubic yards on the beach, estimated cost of $6.6 million. So if the town had to pay for that entirely, because we don't know what the county is going to contribute, it'd be $1.3 million a year, which is about $200,000 more than what we're presently paying. So that's not out of line, I don't think. And then, of course, it goes down if we're able to put 6 years worth of sand on the beach and 7 years worth of sand on the beach. To give you an idea, NAGS had just put a project out to bid, and I think they may have awarded the project. But I think they were at about $11 a cubic yard. Let's see. NAGS said recent bid came in at $11.50 a cubic yard. Our cost in 22 was $9 a cubic yard. So there is a slight increase.
That is exclusive of mobilization.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's everything.
That's everything.
The
The whole
yeah.
package divided across. So
Okay.
that was, I think, the biggest shock to them was the single mobilization
Yeah.
for their project.
Yes, that's right.
At what point is the county going to engage with their cost share for this?
February, at the last book, well, let me,
I don't
that's-
want to jump. Go ahead.
no. At the last, when the managers get together for lunch, that was one of the top questions. When are we going to know what we're going to get funding wise from the county? And the county managers is, I think, going to gather us all in February and explain where they are with their formula and their contributions for all the projects.
Okay.
So that'll be coming soon.
What
that
did
a-
they do for NACSED?
I don't know.
Next, it's out.
Oh,
on
you
their
don't
own.
know?
I don't know what
They're
they're,
on their own.
I don't.
Next, it's out on their own.
That's what I read. They were on their
Yeah.
own.
So there's no county contribution in the NACSED project?
That, I can't
know.
confirm. I think there will be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there will be.
Yes, I think there will be. I don't know what that is. I don't know if they've shared that, but
Gotcha,
I
okay.
anticipate that there will be a county
Okay.
share for that.
They have to
project.
move all of that equipment from the contractor out here and they pay for that separately where we're cost sharing with the other towns.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's the difference. Theirs is a standalone project where our MOB and DMOB's divided by 4 with Kitty Hawk.
Yeah, I'm just asking about how much county money is
Yeah,
getting
the
thrown
county
into
has
the
historically
NACSED
done
project.
7 cents ad valorem is sort of their take, and that shifted a little bit with the model, and I think it's still, keep us posted on that.
I will.
So that we can
So help
be
me,
involved.
go back to the $1 million, the 1,090, is that what you're talking about? Or the $1 million that's will be left after the payment is made in December of 26?
Right.
That $1 million,
1.8 million.
1.8 million is available, which comes from the collections on the MSD
Correct.
after all the bills are paid
Yes.
By design.
by design.
Yeah.
So
And
that will continue to build
that's correct.
in theory.
Right.
Okay.
The one thing the county is really made clear is that the towns all need to continue to collect some form of MSD because we may not be able to rely on them as much as we have in years past. They've got more project costs are increasing.
Rely upon the occupancy tax levy that's
Yeah.
siloed for beach nourishment in Dare County?
Yeah. Well, as much.
I understand.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
I
wanted
mean-
to make,
Yeah.
you see where I'm headed.
I see, yes, absolutely. Okay, and this is the kind of the timeline of where we are. CSC will be submitting a proposal for 26 monitoring to each of the 4 towns in the coming month. That will likely be done that monitoring will be done in May, and they should have updated information in terms of volume changes and volume projections by late June or July, because you remember when Ken was here before, we had talked about when does the town have to make a decision on moving forward. They'll also be submitting a proposal to Dare County for the development of plans and specifications and contract bidding for a 27 project. That'll be done sometime around March or April. And this contract will take us through the bidding process. So CSC anticipates the bids will occur in the August-September timeframe. And at that point, the town will have updated 26 volume changes and projections in hand, as well as bids from contractors with actual costs. So at that time, I think we'd be in a position, we'd have to make a decision whether we were going to approve a project moving forward. Now, I'll say that ideally, if we got to that point and we decided because of that increase of sand, that 333,000 increase in sand over the last project and the 4.3 cubic yard increase per cubic foot versus a 3-foot loss, if we decided to forego and the project was done in 28, we may still be able, if the contractor would accept that price and something were to happen, a storm or there was a loss, so that there could still be a window there for us to take advantage. And I just wanted to put that out there, but there's a lot to consider in the moving months. But the point being, I think financially, sand, we're in good shape. And we'll be getting more information as time goes on to put you all in a position to be able to determine, are you going to move forward with this?
Yeah, the county participation is important, but also if the MSD needs to stay in place, even if there's not a project, what the minimum rate of that MSD would be helpful, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we can start putting, based on those numbers that Ken, just again, we can put together what MSD compared to maybe the same percentages, assuming that the MSD 1, 2, and townwide would pay the same percent it did before. We can start to show you what that tax, but I don't think it's going to change very much.
And these are not deducting what's already in the fund currently and any potential county participation.
That's right.
So that annual cost could be $750 or $625 or something, right?
But I think what you just said, and maybe I misunderstood, it's highly likely. So we have to vote on a budget in June. I know it's only January, so.
It'll be here.
You'll be here before you know it. And what I think you're trying to tell us is we're going to have to adopt a budget without the survey results.
You'll have,
They'll have the May field
Um,
work done.
so the bids are going to come in after we've adopted the budget. So we would have to go in with MSD set for a project that we don't know how much it's going to cost. But based on what I showed you, I think in that first year, we'll be able to, we may have to make an adjustment in year 2 or 3 or 4, but the first year, unless the prices are astronomical, that MSD rate, if you kept it the same, we'd be able to cover.
Well, so looking at it from the other perspective, taxpayers might want to know why we wouldn't consider lowering the MSD rates.
Well, we're gonna have
Especially
to,
for a year or two.
I think we can do that. It's gonna be based on some assumptions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And going back to those, and at that time, we'll know whether we're doing a 5, 6, or 7, but based on the estimated cost, we should be able to, and I mean, that's probably not that dissimilar from what we did this go around. Had taxes in place.
Okay.
ahead of
Again,
the
it's
project.
January, just throwing it out there. We have a long way to go and more data is needed.
Yeah, you asked me at the last time this came up, if the 1.8 million was about what you see in the other towns, and I think it's 1.8 million is not a big amount of money. The other towns have that percentage of their budgets plus some. I mean, I think the town of Duckwood almost wanted to be able to pay for the next project based on what they had in reserve. So some of the other towns have. It's not uncommon to build that beach nourishment fund.
Okay.
Cliff, can you go back to that slide that had the 5, 6, 7? Look. So I'm still a little confused on this point. Would that be everybody moving in lockstep to do this?
Yes.
5, 6, or 7? And what's going to trigger that decision?
A lot of the survey results of when they come in and we can look and see, can we go another year? Can we go 2 more years?
And when you say we, you mean everybody?
All 4 towns. Yes, ma'am.
Because we've already determined that it's not feasible for somebody to do this on their own schedule.
That's
You
right.
have to do it all together,
Unless you're Nags Head.
unless you're next.
Yeah, I mean, if just based on, I think the last MOB and DMOB for our project was 5 million, and splitting that 4 ways saves the town almost $375,000. I mean, 3 point.
It's significant.
It's very significant. Not only, we're also sharing the permitting and design
Right.
and
Right.
everything else.
And there's also 3 more years of occupancy tax collection at the county level if it's postponed, if the sand can withstand it.
Right.
Yeah, for every year we don't do a project, that fund increases.
It is, however, a lot of cooperation required between the 4 towns and
That's right.
coordination in terms of how do you make this decision,
It really is.
which we'll see if we can pull that off.
You did the last time.
Yeah.
It was done once before. No, you know.
Yeah. I don't think that,
And this would be
Not
third
without
time for
some
the other
headache.
towns.
Not with that, well, yeah.
Would,
But yeah,
you'll see the other
Would it
3
be-
towns aren't struggling with what
Nice.
the decisions we're going to have to struggle with as far as the performance of the beach, where the beach is at the time of the project. But I think at this point, I'd be recommending, at a minimum, 375,000 cubic yards to keep us in line, to keep us because if they went to 7 years, then we could be looking at a long time before we did another project, if we didn't do one.
All it takes is one nor'easter to change it.
Yeah, and
well, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll
I mean,
see.
That's all it takes. What's what you
which
deal
could have
with.
been the difference in 24, 25.
Yeah.
Between, a nor'easter takes a chunk.
If the south part of the beach continued to have sand and the north didn't and the central, can you just do north and central and skip part of it?
Whew.
There's a minimum pump rate.
Minimum
That-
pump,
That's
okay,
what
all right.
it really
All right.
starts bucking up against.
All right.
Is this something we'll revisit in March potentially?
Yes, a
As
lot.
a workshop type thing?
Yeah, probably, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions for Cliff? Okay,
All right, thank you.
thanks, Cliff. Appreciate all the updates. Next, we'll hear from our town attorney, Philip. Wonderful.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you, Philip. Appreciate you. Did anyone want to speak at public comment? Going once. Okay. I'm going to our next item is old business, and this is consideration of an extension of citizen ban, and Philip is going to introduce this for us. This is on page 11 in your books.
Right.
Council.
As you all recall, a special meeting was held on February 5th of last year to consider extending a temporary emergency ban of Anthony Mena from town property. Mr. Mena was given notice of the meeting and an opportunity to be heard, speak, offer evidence, and respond to council questions. Mena refused this opportunity, did not appear, instead submitted a statement in opposition. Thereafter, a public hearing was held at the special meeting on February 5th, 25 to consider the ban, and following the hearing, the town voted unanimously to extend the ban for 1 year. That ban also provided Mr. Mena with the opportunity to request a review of the ban after 1 year, and if so, the town would afford him due process through another public hearing. Mr. Mena has not made such a request. The current ban expires on February 4th, 2026, and the council needs to take action before this expiration date if it wishes to extend the ban. Thank you.
Thanks, Philip. Council, anybody want to comment or ask questions or?
Just real quick, he did not ask to have the ban lifted.
He has not asked to have the ban lifted. He has not asked for a hearing. No, sir.
And he still has that right if we continue the ban.
Sure.
I'm comfortable.
And I would recommend that if you extend the ban, to offer him the same right
That's
when that ban expires.
I would like that.
Okay. Any other comments, concerns?
No.
So did I miss how long a ban? Are we still looking at just a year?
Extended for a year?
That's the council's prerogative,
I think,
but it
That's
works.
why I support a year.
I support
I
you.
support a year.
I think it should be under
I'd
review
sup-
annually.
I would support 3 years. I mean, this is a lot of resources we've devoted financially, legally, town council time for someone who's not, I mean, is displaying no interest in having the ban lifted. I'm happy to be a minority opinion.
One thing I want to clarify is, as an option, you can extend it for a period of time and then bring it back when he asks for a hearing. You don't have to keep doing this, I guess is what I'm saying, is that you can set it for a time, and if he requests a hearing after that time, you can do that as well.
So if we wanted to adopt a 3-year extension, we could do that. But Mr. Mena can request a review and we would review. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's not the way the original ban was written. The original ban was for 1 year, which we contended to be a reasonable period of time. And that after that ban expires, at any time, he could request for a hearing to not extend the ban.
After that time.
Well, it was
expires.
actually, technically, I think it was before the.
Yeah, I think
expiration
we
of
had
the
given
ban.
him the right to demonstrate a change of posture or
That's
some
right.
other action that changed the facts of the ban. But the civil libertarian in me, I don't mind wasting my time once a year to have this reviewed. I'd rather not have some long standing. I understand where you're coming from 100%.
My recommendation is.
If it's my wasted time, I'm willing to waste it for a little bit or not waste it. But have this discussion once a year.
That's my recommendation.
I support that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mind reviewing it.
So I'll make a motion that we continue the current ban from all town property for Mr. Mena until his request for review, not sooner than February 4th, 2027. That's my motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carries. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, staff. Moving on, we have next council business. I'll start. So the next meeting for council is Tuesday. Uh-oh, that's the wrong calendar. Tuesday, February the 4th? February the 3rd. All right, thank you.
At 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. Okay. And I would like to, thanks to the staff, coordinating schedules, I would like to propose that we have a mayor's chat on Tuesday, February the 17th. I think we've been doing them at 4:30. We could change it to 5, do you think? Or do you want to keep it at 4:30?
4:30.
4:30? Okay. And which bleeds over beyond the 5 o'clock typical workday. And of course, the mayor's chat is open to anyone to bring any issue. There will be staff there. There could be council members there. I of course, will be there. It's in a relaxed setting. We sit around a table. We take turns talking about issues. That's what the mayor's chat is. So that's February the 17th. And then Mayor Pro Tem is next.
I was looking up one date, but I will give you my announcements. Just bear with me.
Okay.
The main focus on the corridor committee. We are having sort of a rehearsal on the 14th at 9 a.m. at the Pitt Center to go through our report presentation to a joint open meeting to the planning board, council, citizens, et cetera, of our phase 1 report. And we're saving the date of January 27th at 5:30 for that presentation. Again, we are all volunteering. I want to make sure the rest of the team is ready to go. I don't doubt that they will be, but I just want to double check with them on the 14th. So.
And I did the same save the date announcement with the planning board when they met in December.
What was that date again, Matt?
The 27th,
Thank you.
the evening of the 27th.
And you'll confirm as soon as possible.
Yeah, we'll after the 14th that afternoon, we'll probably put out a public notice. I could probably touch base with everybody informally and make sure they're still good ahead of time. And then I believe the Dare Housing Foundation meeting is the 20th, but I was trying to look that up before that, but I think that's our plan. So.
Are y'all meeting up here now?
We'll be at the Town Bank Conference Room.
It's nice.
So the town's been very, very supportive of the operation. So.
That's great. Thank you.
Short drive.
Yeah, for you, it makes it a lot easier. Anything else from the Mayor Pro Tem?
No, not other than happy to see y'all again.
Yeah.
It feels like a month has been 2 years.
I know.
But
Paula?
Really not much. Wes and I both sit on the Albemarle Rural Planning Organization, and there's really not much that's been happening there. Hopefully, they have a new director. Hopefully, they'll get a little more regular about their meetings. And then continuing to work on the cemetery as we head towards the spring, and hope we get some nice plantings there so that it'll look a little splashy in the springtime.
Mark?
Okay, tour board, we had a meeting in December, and occupancy is still off. Lots of factors, uncertainty in the economy. The weather didn't help. That and the media thought the whole Outer Banks was falling down and all the houses were going in the ocean. So
That's true.
it just didn't help. There's a concerted effort on the part of the tour board as far as our promotions and our marketing next year to make sure that everybody knows we're safe and sound, and that we're open for business. Quite frankly, we're counting on A250 to bring more visitors here. I mean, what a place to come to the Outer Banks. Now, I know that some people is good and bad, but the first colony was here, everything else. I mean, we're pushing everything we know to encourage it. I mean, and revenues are off. We're cautiously optimistic for next year because the tour board, the visitors do produce over $3,800 a year per person reduction in your taxes. Your real estate taxes collectively. It's a big number, and we need to encourage them to come. But the signs aren't there. Inflation hasn't helped. We were off in occupancy. Meals looks good, but when you talk to the folks that run the restaurants, they'll just flat tell you that their costs have soared, and so the tax is up, but they're selling less plates of food. Some of the restaurants will tell you that when they hear the families go to dinner, they'll tell the kids you can only have a slice of pizza. You're not getting chicken fingers. I mean, people are worried about affordability. God, that word is overworked like crazy right now. But they're worried about what they're spending, and we'll see what the new year brings. But the board is optimistic. I mean, we're pushing like crazy with the dollars that we have. And the other thing is we have a record number of events that are being supported by the tour dollars that we reallocate for 5K runs. We had 6 of them this year, I think, in November, and all kinds of events that go on, the seafood festival. And then, of course, these dollars also provide grants for sidewalks and everything else that we get here in the county as well. So our big push is marketing right now. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll know more. The rental companies usually tell us at these meetings, the representative for the rentals, they tell us how they're doing for bookings. After the first of the year, we have a meeting in 2 weeks, and they'll tell us, because a lot of the bookings come in right at the beginning of the year for next year. And it's no secret that Hatteras really took a beating this year with what was going on in Buxton and the overwash. And I think we had something like 35 red flag days, which really hurt as well, where you weren't allowed in the water, and a minimum of 35. And just, 26 is going to be positive. We'll just leave it at that. Okay.
Very good. Rob?
Well, as a town rep on the A250 committee, I think you've probably heard a bit of what we're doing today. I think that's pretty complete, and so I'll leave it at that. And as the town's rep on Current TV, there was a reminder that you can only buy equipment with your what they call these LDPI grants, which is $5,000 once every 4 years. So they're really trying to push for producing videos. I think the town of Kitty Hawk is actually doing a video on the naming of their streets. So why do the different towns name the streets the way they did? And it's something for Southern Shores to consider. Let's see, there was also the notion that I think the Santa Ride video is out there on Current TV. And of course, the A250 ride is out there. A250 promotional video is out there on Current TV. And the next meeting will, establish leadership of Current TV committee and so on and so forth.
Very good. Thanks, Rob. Cool. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So move.
We are adjourned. Thank you all. Thank you very much.